Alright, hey guys, She Detector here. So today's video is going to be the last video with the Detector Pro Headhunter Pirate. So there were a couple of questions that some of y'all had on what the Detector Pro could do, and I'm going to answer those questions today. Now, one of the questions was, on my last hunt, I took the machine a little bit in the water, and it was very, very chattery, so much so that I could not hear actual targets in the water. So someone had asked if I could put the machine in the salt water and raise the discrimination up to see if that quieted down the chatter. So that's what I'm going to do today, or right now. So I'm going to go ahead and set my camera up, and then I'll turn the machine on and we'll see how it sounds. Alright guys, so I'm in the water, obviously. I've got the Detector Pro here, and I'm going to turn it on while it's in the salt water. Currently the discrimination is at 0, so let's turn it on. And I'm going to go ahead and put the headphones on the camera so you guys can hear it. Alright, so as you guys can tell, it's not immediately chattery. But once you start moving the machine around, it gets chattery. So let me let you guys listen. Alright guys, so that was turning the machine on in the water, volume at 10, discrimination at 0. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the discrimination and see if that makes a difference. Let's go up to, we'll go 7. I can hear it still already. So let's see. Alright guys, so having it on 7, the machine's relatively quiet. Now again, I turned the machine on in the water, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to take the coil out of the water and see if that makes a difference. Let's see if I can do this. Alright, so yes, it's still wet, but it's not submerged. So there we go. We'll drop the discrimination back down to 0. I'm going to put the headphones on the camera and I'm going to put the coil in the water. So let's see what it does. Alright. So it's chattery, of course, 0 discrimination, so I'm going to turn it back off. Alright, now I'm going to take the coil out of the water again. Okay, we're going to turn it back on, and we're going to up the discrimination to 7 like it was a second ago. I'm going to put the coil back in the water. So alright, so those are the settings. It was pretty quiet. I mean, it was still chattery, but I think it would be tolerable to detect in the water with the discrimination at 7, whether you turn it on in the water or out of the water. I feel like it was relatively similar. So, yeah. So I'm continuing the last couple of test scenarios with the Detector Pro. And one of the scenarios that you all wanted was for me to essentially do some dirt digging, some land hunting. So I'm at a local park, and you can see all the trees and stuff behind me there probably. I've picked these pull-up bars here, little pull-up bars, or I know I see usually like little girls in gymnastics, they'll come and, you know, do flips and stuff on them. So I figured I would start around here and see what's here. There's a lot of foliage and stuff on the ground, so yeah, so I'll have to be obviously working through that. But I figured I would start here and see how it does. I don't think it would be too much trash here. Probably some coins though, like I said, if little kids are flipping around and stuff like that. Even adults, if they come and flip around on here. So we're gonna start here and see what we can find. So let me get set up and we'll get to doing some more metal detecting. Alright, so I'm gonna turn the machine on. I'm gonna crank the volume all the way up. We're gonna start at zero discrimination and see what kind of items we find here. Alright, so I'm right under this one here. And there's something right there. So there's something right here. I got my plastic shovel. Alright, so something there. More something there. Another something there. Whew. Worm. Gross. I don't know where it went. There was something else. This one. There it is. Alright. So, I don't know what these are, but it was picking up multiple targets. I think you guys could hear it. So there were multiple targets there, obviously. So we'll cover this back in. Alright. I'm going to keep searching around here and see what else is hiding. So far it's alright. I think the small coil helps. The small coil really does help. Golly, there's more stuff there. There's like stuff everywhere, honestly. There's multiple targets here too. Check it out. Got a coin. Woohoo! Alright. So my theory about there being coins under here, pretty spot on. Looks like 2016. It wasn't that deep either, not even an inch down. So that's cool. Right, but I was picking up multiple targets, I thought. I don't know. So I think you guys can hear all the jumping around. Let's increase our discrimination a little bit. So, right now we're at 0 discrim. Let's go ahead and crank it up to 5. Let's just see what happens. So I can hear it like nulling out, essentially. And I can't get too close to those because I think there's some kind of metal plate in there. But I don't want to dig anything that sounds too terribly deep. I can hear it, like I said, almost like nulling out. Relatively quiet. Has the occasional blip, blip, blip. Here's a target. Alright, let's see what it is. So whatever, oh, there it is. So even at discrimination 5, still picking up little soda opener tabs, pull tabs. Oh, there's something here. There it is. Alright, looks like 2003. 2003, another one. Alright. Another one right here. Let's see if I can do it without the pinpointer, since they're not being too terribly deep. Oh, there it is. Ha ha ha. Look at that. I don't even need Elsie. I mean, I'll take her. I'm not gonna like give her away. Alright, 2000. Alright, yeah, so it's nice when they're not super deep. I don't have to use my pinpointer. So that might save me some time. Alright. So far not that bad, especially when you increase the discrimination a little bit. It's not too terrible here in this little park area. I know that was the one thing that a lot of y'all were questioning, you know, how does it behave in a park or in a super trashy area? Because you can't adjust the sensitivity. It's pretty much all or nothing. Oh, there's something here. Let's see. Let's see if I got it. I got it. There it is. There it is. A dime. Very nice. It's got a nice little, whoops, got some nice coloring to it. Alright, let's see. We can't see that date. Looks like maybe 2005? 2005. Alright. yeah, so a lot of y'all were asking, how does it behave in parks or on land? It's not that bad. Honestly, I think the smaller coil helps a lot because, you know, if you had a big, gigantic coil, it might be a little bit harder to locate the targets. Thought I just heard metal on metal. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There it is. 1992. Not bad. I've only been out here a couple of minutes too. I mean, pretty much since this camera's been rolling, that's how long I've been out here. Not very long, and I've already found multiple coins. Alright guys, so here are my finds for today's hunt with the Detector Pro. Now, I didn't do any detecting in the water, that was just answering a question that y'all had, but I actually did detecting, you know, obviously over there at the park, so these are my finds. So I found what I think are a bunch of pieces of like chain link fence, just a bunch of little pieces there. They're actually monster pull tabs, and then this big chunk of something. I have no idea what it is. I mean, it's iron of some kind, but I don't know like what it is, you know what I mean? So I found that, and then here's all my coinage. Check that out. So I got 2 quarters, 6 dimes, a nickel, and 10 pennies. I found $1.25 today. That's awesome. I've not found this many coins in a while, so yeah, I was super excited about that. Alright guys, so that's the last of the videos that I'll be doing with the Detector Pro. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, a couple of y'all had asked me some questions on it, and some of them I was able to answer. You know, they were simple things like, why can't you adjust sensitivity? So obviously the machine only has 2 knobs. On and off, which is also the volume, and then the discrimination. There's no way for you to adjust the sensitivity. There's no way for you to ground balance, nothing like that. So those I was able to answer right on YouTube or on my Facebook page. But the first part, like I said, someone had asked me to go in the water, it's salt water, and mess with the discrimination while I was in the water. So that's what I did. And I definitely noticed a difference between having 0 discrimination and having an increased discrimination, which I had it on 7. It's entirely up to you on what you want to have it on. I did notice a difference between the 2. There was still some chatter though, and while I didn't find any targets today, it could still potentially be a little difficult to identify the difference between a target and threshold noise, so definitely keep that in mind. And then one of the other questions that I was asked was to do some land hunting with it at a park or a curb strip, something like that. So I went to a park. I've never hunted there before. It's a local park near our new house. And it was maybe 30 minutes, and I found all of those targets right there near those pull-up bars. So I was really expecting the machine to have difficulty, or not really the machine, but for me to have difficulty with the basicness of the machine in an environment like a park, just because I know that there's a lot of targets around. You know, you've got foil from gum wrappers, a bunch of trash, stuff like that. So I was really expecting a difficult time, but it really surprised me, honestly. I was very surprised on how easy it was to, 1, identify if there's a target there or not, and then 2, actually locate the target with the coil. So that is definitely a plus for the Detector Pro, the size of the coil. The 8-inch coil makes it super easy to hunt in areas where there could be a lot of targets all right in, you know, the same little area. So I did like the size of the coil for hunting on land. I definitely recommend the smaller coil for land hunting. Overall, the Detector Pro Pirate was a pretty good machine, I have to say. I was a little, I don't know, unsure about it, just because it is a very basic machine. but after the several hunts that I've done with it, especially after my hunt today on land, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the machine. It's definitely a great starter machine, great for children too, as it's pretty much right out of the box. You can just turn it on and go, so that's great. You know, your kid doesn't have to learn about ground balancing, learn about sensitivity. I mean, those are all things that, you know, if they're going to continue in the hobby, that they should know. But if it's just kind of like an off-the-cuff type thing, perfect machine, because again, you just turn it on and go. I mean, any kind of metal and it's going to find it, so that's great. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with the machine overall. I'm a huge fan of the concentric coil. I'm usually really prefer double D coils, but ever since I used the sand shark, the Tesoro sand shark, huge fan of concentric coils. So now any machine that I get to try, I love that it has a concentric coil. So I have to give many thanks to the Gold Digger Metal Detectors. Ronnie, the owner over there, thank you for letting me try out this awesome machine. And I do want to say that this machine is not waterproof. All the components are in the headphones, but it's not completely sealed off from moisture, so you can hunt in like a light mist. I wouldn't go out in a downpour kind of rain because water will get into the headphones. But there is another version of this machine. It's still a Detector Pro, but it's the underwater version, and the headphones are completely submersible. You can go, I believe it's 200 feet deep with the underwater version of this machine, and that machine also has the sensitivity adjustment knob. So that's something else to keep in mind if you're kind of on the fence about this machine but you wish it was waterproof. I have a link for the waterproof version in the description down below, so make sure to check that out. But again, many thanks to Ronnie for letting me try out this machine. I have links to the Detector Pro also in the description down below, as well as the waterproof version down below, so make sure to check those out. Thank you for sending me all of your questions on this machine and asking me to try out some different scenarios. I really enjoy doing that. I like being able to answer those for everybody, so thank you. Thank you for watching my video. If you're not a subscriber to my channel yet, please make sure to hit the subscribe button located right here down below. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. And until next time, I will see you guys later.